Good evening, my dear viewers. I, Roshmi Saikia from Anajari, would like to welcome you all for the evening talk show, that is our Tuesday talk show, with eminent speakers from Assam. And here we are providing you with different kinds of sphere. We deal with different kind of spheres where basically we try to call in different eminent speakers from around the different spheres of our life, be it education, be it art and craft, be it gender or inequality. So we are dealing with a lot of things here. From Anajori, we are a non-profit organization where we try to imbibe and follow certain kind of pre-notions where we are basically trying to address different issues which we face in and around Northeast and Assam in particular. Here again in Anajari, we also try to develop and give opportunity to young entrepreneurs who are trying to make a mark of their own in this journey. And we do follow a different kind of, what do I say? We follow a different kind of pattern and try to also motivate you can say, young stars who would make a mark of their own or who has made a mark of their own. Today, we are here in this education, that is art webinar, with one of our very prominent and one of our most known eminent educator, that is Manobi Deka, who is holding a degree in English from Cotton College, has a lot of other, has done her mass media communication, as well as she holds a B.Ed degree, as well as a lot of diploma in her kitty. She is also taking care of the non-profit organization which is called Sparsh, and who deals with education, giving education to the underprivileged, and early education is one of the main focus in Sparsh. Manobi, welcome once again. And
thank you very much. Thank you,
it's a pleasure. Yes, it's a pleasure to have you here. It's a pleasure to know you. We would like to know from you a lot of things about you, as well as a lot of things about your journey. And I also would like to hear, my dear viewers, like to also tell you that she is also a member of NEWEA, and she's also a member of Yasashi Foundation. She's the president of WICCI, which is Women India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and she also holds managerial that is position in ECAI. So Manobi, it gives me immense pleasure from Anajori to have this opportunity to talk to you today. So welcome once again. So Manobi, I would just like to know, mane apuni etia iman gal kam kori ase. So we would like to know, our viewers would definitely like to know, what is education for you? Or we want to know about your journey. How did you start? Why did you decide to become a teacher? And what were some of the motivation that happened to you to become a teacher?
At the onset, let me first thank Anajori for this wonderful opportunity to communicate with so many viewers on Facebook on their page. So good evening, viewers.
Mhm.
Like Rashmi had asked me,
Roshni.
what is Rashmi? Yeah, Rashmi has asked me, and I love the spelling you write. You know, it's Rashmi. একেবাৰে অসমীয়া pronunciation. ধুনীয়াকে ইংৰাজীত লিখা হৈছে. So সেইটোহে আশা হ'ব লাগে. So Rashmi, যেনেকে তুমি সুধিলা, like you asked, what is education for me? Let me quote something which I had been hearing since my childhood. It's a quote by monk Swami Vivekananda. Education is the manifestation of the perfection already in man, which I have been hearing since my childhood. And now I see that so much of importance given to early childhood education and education as a whole. NEP 2020 also resonates the same thought, and it quotes that education is the fundamental for achieving full human potential. So since like so much of progressive things are going to happen now after NEP 2020, so education, the definition of education is really going to be like correctly used, or I think NEP 2020 will definitely give education a good meaning in my country, I mean our country, India, I believe this time. So let me start from the very beginning, like you asked, what was my inspiration and how I started my journey as an educator. Well, I was a student of Vivekananda Kendra Vidyalaya, and education plays a great role, I would tell you, because whatever like motivation or resilience or courage I have in me today, it's because of my school education. No doubt my parents play a great role. They have instilled or imbibed so many values in me, but I give a lot of credit to my school, Vivekananda Kendra Vidyalaya, which has brought about so many changes and actually discovered the leadership quality in me, and also enhanced so many qualities in me since childhood, which is why I believe early childhood education is very important. It lays the foundation of an individual from the very early years. And it like a foundation of a building, you know, it has to be very strong in order to uh, like make the building survive at the time of calamities. The foundation of an individual also has to be very strong, which my educational institution, you know, has built in me. And I think every educational institution should do it in individual. So what inspired me to become a teacher? Well, let me quote or tell you a small anecdote. In our school, you know, there was a system where on Teachers' Day, students used to become teachers. So there would be a break for all the teachers, and the senior students would become teachers. And they would have a feel of how the teachers, they put in so much of effort in educating children, in learning themselves, and like sharing that learning in the classrooms. So that was something my school used to do, you know, on every Teachers' Day. And there would be a principal also of the school amongst the students. So one fine day when I applied for teachers, we used to have a proper application system also. Like our students used to put up applications for becoming a teacher or the principal for one day, only on Teachers' Day. So I had put up an application for a teacher, like English teacher, but my school principal asked me that why you have applied for a teacher's post, why don't you apply for a principal's post? So I didn't even realize that I could become a become a principal or like run an institution. I was very nervous and scared, you know. And then I thought, let me give it a try. And I got the opportunity to become the principal of my school for one day. So that was something, you know, the school had done. And, you know, the school had built up that faith in me, that courage in me. And I really, I'm so grateful to my school. So like it's role play, you can say, like, which now every preschool does. Like preschools, they do role play activities, like students become doctors, like play the role of a teacher, sometimes play the role of a nurse. That really brings a lot of change, and it gives a lot of confidence to an individual or maybe a child to do something or take up something. So that's about like beginning as a teacher. Then after I completed my graduation, I would say that since I like had this desire to become a teacher already in me, I started teaching preschool students. And initially it was due to the necessity. I thought maybe if I do a job, I get some money and then continue my future education. But I started loving it. And I was very happy about the achievements the students would bring into the classroom, not only in form of results, but sometimes if they excel in sports, sometimes if they do well in maybe role play or acting, or they accomplish some craft activity or maybe a dance or a song. I used to love doing all that. So, which is why I thought of doing B.Ed also. I took up a B.Ed course and completed my B.Ed degree and taught in various schools. And it has been more than 2 decades now as a teacher.
I know I think it gives immense satisfaction because I am an educator right now, and it gives immense satisfaction to be with the students, to know. I mean, each student I think is unique in their own way, right? So yes, I can relate myself to you, and it feels great. So having known about your passion for teaching, as well as being you in your, there is a punchline which you have basically said, I'm a teacher not by choice but by chance. So
no, I am a teacher by choice, not by chance.
By chance, yes. So I mean, how did that happen? I mean, obviously there has to be that passion in you, because of which I guess everything goes the way you want it to be. So I want to know, at the age of 20, I guess you have started teaching, and Sparsh happened, right? So if you can just throw some light on what is Sparsh all about, I would like to know it from your mouth as well, so that our viewers who are watching you would know more about it.
Correct. I started teaching, like I said, immediately after completing my graduation. Not even completing. I mean, I just appeared for my graduation, and my results were not in my hand. But then, still, I started teaching pre-primary children in the school where I myself studied, and it was a great opportunity. Again, I'm indebted to my school. Then after that, while I was after completing my master's, I started teaching in another Vivekanand Kendra Vidyalaya, another VKV, where I taught class 10, 11, and 12. And after that, I got a golden opportunity to teach in the first Delhi public school. I mean, it's the second one that was in Assam, that was Delhi Public School, Guwahati. I got the opportunity in 2003. And I started teaching preschoolers. So this was a transition. I was teaching 11 and 12, and now again started teaching preschoolers, but all with different types of experiences and achievements, I would say. While I was teaching preschoolers, I saw that I am really doing well with that particular sector. And gradually I got an opportunity to start my own preschool in collaboration with Delhi Public School Guwahati Trust, that is Gyan Sarovar Foundation. I started the first branch of Sparsh at the age of 26 in Zunarangi Road with only 5 students. So that was a collaboration with the Trust of DPS, that is Gyan Sarovar Foundation initially, but gradually I was allowed to run it independently since 2009. Then another branch of Sparsh started in 6 Mile. After that, we thought of upgrading ourselves. 5 years were very good, memorable years. We were like growing stepwise. 6 Mile, we started teaching 6 to 12 years. 7 to 9, we started teaching 7 to 12. 8 to 9, we started teaching 9 to 12. 9 to 12, we started teaching 10 to 11. 10 to 11, we started teaching 11 to 12. 12 to 13, we started teaching 13 to 14. 14 to 15, we started teaching 15 to 16. 16 to 17, we started teaching 17 to 18. 18 to 19, we started teaching 19 to 20. 20 to 21, we started teaching 21 to 23. 21 to 22, we started teaching 22 to 23. 23 to 24, we started teaching 24 to 25. 25 to 26, we started teaching 26 to 27. 27 to 28, we started teaching 28 to 29. 28 to 30, we started teaching 30 to 31. 30 to 32, we started teaching 32 to 33. 33 to 34, we started teaching 34 to 35. 34 to 35, we started teaching 35 to 36. Then in the year 2013, we upgraded ourselves to elementary because we thought that there should be an uninterrupted education for preschoolers, which now probably NEP 2020 reiterates that up to class 2, it should be foundation years. I thought it then only in 2013 that there should be an uninterrupted education for preschoolers at least till few more years, which is why I started the elementary school without thinking much. We started in 2013, and it has been now 8 years, and we have up to class 5th now. And we started another branch in Surrey, Ajantapad in the year 2019. We also have a franchise in Moran. So in totality, we have got 5 branches of Sparsh.
Okay.
Yes. And now, like while running Sparsh, I thought it was always like a dream in my mind to work for the less privileged children. Because in the year 2010, we used to do small charitable work wherein we used to involve our own like students, parents, as well as teachers. What we used to do, every child in our school, they used to collect a fistful of rice and dal in their house, and they used to keep it in a container for 10 consecutive days. And on the 10th day, they used to donate it to school. So this is something which we wanted to imbibe in every child, that there should be some sharing. And what is the outcome of sharing? Let us see it on the 10th day. So every child of Sparsh, we used to celebrate Children's Day in a very special and unique way, which is why the children used to collect a fistful of rice and dal. They used to collect the grains for 10 days, from 1st of November to 10th of November, and then they come and donate it to school. And every child also has to donate 2 clothes. The ones, 2 old clothes, but which are not tattered and torn. They have to be in good condition, which they would give it to their brother or cousin maybe. So washed and ironed clothes have to come to school. And the child also used to, the student also used to bring 2 school stationery. If a child has more stationery, like they have got a lot of written gifts, pencils and erasers, if they are extra, they used to come and give it to school. And we invite the street children or the less privileged children in our school. We prepare a meal for those children, and the children of Sparsh, they distribute their clothes, stationery, as well as the food to the children. So by doing so, everybody learns. The children, they learn by doing it. It's a practical experience again that, yes, we can make a lot of difference by contributing little. If everyone contributes a little, it's going to be huge. And they saw the results. And since 2010, we have been doing that. We also take up another project, on every Children's Day. Our children of Sparsh, they make small craft items. Even mothers, parents, we involve the parents, because all of them are stakeholders in a school. The teachers also contribute, they also make. And we have an exhibition come sale, and the proceeds of the exhibition come sale is donated for the education of the less privileged. This we have been doing since a decade. And in the year 2020, we thought, why not have our own charitable organization? And we registered in as a charitable organization in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs as a charitable company, which is now named Yasashi Foundation. So Yasashi Foundation is a like endeavor of Sparsh, Team Sparsh itself. We have been doing it relentlessly since 2010, and now we are a registered organization, so that it has got more credibility and everybody recognizes it. And we are trying a lot. We have also made a school. We have built a school in Narangi Housing Colony, which is named Yasashi Education Center. So Yasashi Education Center has got 104 children. It's our philanthropic project where children get free education. And we are thinking that in that school, not only the less privileged children, but also the school dropouts can be brought. They may not be they may not be put into age-appropriate class, but we can at least give them a little bit of foundation numeracy skills, literacy and numeracy skills, so that you know, they can be mainstream later. So this is about Yasashi Foundation. And I must say that I'm very, very fortunate to be a part of Early Childhood Association of India. It's a huge umbrella, and Early Childhood Association of India has given me a great opportunity to connect with a lot of educators throughout India and abroad. So ECA has been doing brilliant work, and I really want to enlighten the preschools of Assam and Northeast as well to be a part of ECA and join hands with ECA so that we can work for early childhood education. Because like I told in the very beginning that with the new policy, National Education Policy 2020, foundation literacy is going to be a lot of importance, and we have to work a lot on foundation years. So, WICCI is also a very good organization, which I'm heading for Assam, Women India Chambers of Industries and Commerce. Elementary Education Council is the one which I'm heading, and we have taken a few projects about which you'll be seeing it on the Facebook page.
That sounds so great, and it's so nice actually to relate. While you were speaking, I could just relate my work, which I am right now responsible at my school, and we also are going through that experiential learning process altogether, trying to follow and imbibe the different changes that is happening in the education policy. So with that, I wanted to know, how do you think, I mean, education, that is the NEP policy, the National Education Policy 2020, is going to bring about a change in the whole education policy, as well as in the early childhood education. And if you can throw some light about what is the difference between, early childhood education, and what are the norms that you follow?
Correct. This NEP 2020, as far as curricular and pedagogical structure is concerned, it would bring NEP 2020 would bring a configured structure. It's already reconfigured and stated that there will be school education will be divided as 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, which I think most of the viewers are aware. And in the first 5 years, the foundation stage, which is called foundation stage, the age group 3 to 8 will be covered, and nursery to class 2, like standard 2, which we call now, will be the foundation stage. Then preparatory stage is again 8 to 11, which is class 3 to 5th, 3 more years. And middle stage will be again 11 to 14, which will be class 6, 7, and 8. And secondary stage would be 15 to 18, which will be class 9, 10, 11, and 12. But I'm so very happy about the foundation literacy, which foundation stage, which NEP 2020 has given so much of importance to. Because preschool education was not given so much of importance earlier, I would say. And many parents used to skip a year or two, like they used to put the child directly in LKG or UKG. And now that the child has to come from 3 years onwards, a child will really learn a lot. Because you see, 85% of child's cumulative brain, more than 85% of child's cumulative brain develops before 6, which was not happening in case of every child. Like I told you, every child never used to go at the age of 3. Some parents used to send the child at the age of 4 or 5, maybe. So now that it will be compulsory to send the child at the age of 3, every child will get that exposure to enhance their brain development. And, NCRT has been vested a great responsibility. The National Curricular and Pedagogical Framework for Early Childhood Care and Education will be developed by NCRT in 2 parts, namely the sub-framework for 0 to 3 years and a sub-framework for 3 to 8 years. So after that, if we get that framework, a curricular and pedagogical framework, every preschool, whether it is government or private sector, everybody will have a curriculum in their hand, and we can work in a structured way. And in the government sector also, I mean, Anganwaris were running for 3+. Now that we are hearing of an integration, like Anganwaris will be attached to the proper schools, government schools. So that will also give a lot of opportunity to the children to get a lot of knowledge, in the early years itself. And socio-economically or emotionally less developed section of our society, they used to send their children to Anganwaris. And now that government would take up this policy and take necessary steps, I think that section of the society also would get a lot of, proper education, structured education. It is a very happy thing for all of us, I guess. And I really pray and hope that things happen as planned, which is why the policy has been designed, and every state has been given a lot of responsibility. Every state has formed a committee to work and revise things. And one more thing about NEP 2020, the multilingual structure, three-language formula. While interviewing parents, it's a must now. While interviewing parents, at the time of admission, I mean, just not a formal interview, while interacting with the parents, I saw that every parent wants the child to learn English. That was the first demand, whether your teachers are speaking in English or not. But you see, if we force a 3-year-old child that you have to speak in English, or 4-year-old child to speak in English, we would curb the child's thinking or its expression, both. The child will not be able to, maybe child will be able to think, but not express to us. And we will not be able to understand. The educators would not be able to understand and communicate with the child properly. Now that the child will be given liberty in the classroom to choose his or her own mother tongue, that will be good, I think, for every school and every child, every educator as well.
Yes. And I feel, when you are using multilingual, it becomes much more easier, because even me as a child, probably if I don't know a word and I'm puzzled to whether I should ask or not ask. So, that thing is not going to happen. The moment you're not understanding something, you can always get back to your educator and ask the meaning. It's like a very simple example. And then what happens is that the, imparting of knowledge or imbibing of that knowledge for the child also becomes easier, I feel. So I think multilingual option is a very good option. I mean, and
very good option.
It is going to make the students feel much better, I feel, because definitely they have every opportunity. Each child will have an opportunity to open up and speak up and say what they want to, right? Because like you said, everyone wants their child to know English so much. So,
Every parent wants that.
Yes. So, so according to you, so what do you think is NEP going to bring about a change? Do you think with like in abroad, when you go, they are already following these patterns, right from the beginning?
Yeah, of course.
India, we fall as a parent, the mindset is going to change, or people would be still wanting to go through the traditional way. What do you advise to those students? I mean, to those parents, actually. What is your advice?
Any change takes time and takes a lot of patience. Like whoever is trying to bring about the change, we educators are going to bring the change. It will be a great challenge for us. It will be a great chance to change the mindset of the people, like you said.
Yes.
In the European countries, I will definitely give the credit to ECA once again. That I had the opportunity to travel to Europe and understand the various pedagogies there. So there I saw that in every school, the children were given the liberty to speak in their own mother tongue,
Right.
whether it is Germany or Italy. And we got an opportunity to visit like Radio Emilia International Center, which is a different pedagogy or approach to early childhood or education as a whole. We had an opportunity to visit Maria Montessori. About Maria Montessori, everybody knows. We visited the first school of Maria Montessori, which is in Rome. We also visited the Waldorf School by Rudolf Steiner, which was in Coburg. Then after visiting these schools, and we also had the opportunity to visit the kindergarten method, I mean, like a Frobel Museum, and understand the like pedagogy of Friedrich Frobel, that is kindergarten method. In the kindergarten method or Maria Montessori method, the child has got a lot of liberty, which we aren't giving in our country. We do not give so much of liberty to the child. In our country, you must be observant, since you too are an educator, and viewers would also know that we emphasize so much on writing. The child should be very good in writing. But we have to also understand that how much writing would be required in future. Why we are insisting on writing so much now. It might happen that everything would be replaced by typing, isn't it? Now that everything, and I would not say that writing should get eradicated as a whole, but in order to make the child expert in writing at the age of 5 or 4, why are we not letting the child think and explore so many things that the child should do in early years, which is very much prevalent in the European countries, and which is why children become great thinkers. They discover, they imagine a lot. So we should not curb the imagination of the child. I think this kind of change is required, because in like NEP 2020, I studied that in Anganwaris or Balwatikas or preschools everywhere, the NCRT will give a pedagogical framework wherein storytelling, puppetry, a lot of activities and skill-based activities will be done in early years, right from foundation year only. So I think that is going to bring a revolutionary change, and the mindset of the parents will also change gradually. And I'm sure the modern day parent is well versed and well educated and well informed. They will definitely accept. The only challenge is that if we are working with the socio-economically less developed section of our country, that will be a challenge probably. We have to convince them, we have to make them understand, we have to, I mean, join hands, both the government and non-government educational institutions have to join hands together to work in order to change the mindset of this particular section of the society. Which is why I told you that I'm working in both the sectors. I'm also working for the children who are in Sparsh, as well as the less privileged class which come to the Yasashi Education Center. We collect children from door to door, to educate the parent how important is experiential learning for every individual.
Right.
So we are very hopeful. Let's see.
Yes, let's hope for the best, and I am sure it's not a hope, it is going to change, and there will be revolutionary change in our education policy as well. And I'm very positive. I have a positive frame of mind right now that things will be very different from now onwards, right? So another thing I wanted to know from you is that you have now you are dealing with early childhood education policy, and you are doing a lot of things in this as well, and you have also taught in the graduation level, like you said. So what is the difference? What is the difference that you feel while you are dealing with a child and while you're dealing with an adult, for example, like the ones which are already in college and they are an individual of their own. So what is the difference that you feel in both these sections of students?
Why I chose to become an early childhood educator at the
Hmm.
first place is I find that there are very few people who are really dedicatedly working. Now that so many preschool educators are there that have come
Hmm.
up, but we need more people to work with this sector. That is why I chose early childhood education, because we
Right.
need to be change makers and we
Right.
have to bring about changes. And I was also observant about few more things, let me tell you, that about inclusion. I see that
Hmm.
we have to catch the child early, and
Hmm.
early intervention is very, very important. Every school should be inclusive school,
Hmm.
which is also being emphasized in NEP, that
Right.
inclusion should be there. We should have
Hmm.
inclusion in high school level also, and in preschool level, early years, we get the child wherein we see a lot of problems with the child, with
Hmm.
many children. If I talk of inclusion, let me tell you
Hmm.
about four major
Hmm.
problems which are common problems which we see. First of all, we see children with autism spectrum disorder,
Hmm.
which is not identified, and
Hmm.
maybe uh, in many preschools it is not identified, and the child loses the four important years. The child comes at the age of 2, which is
Right.
the preparation for like education, you can say. At the age
Hmm.
of 2, it's a playgroup class. The child
Right.
comes to us at the 2 or 2.5 maybe, and then
Hello. Okay, I can't hear. I can't hear you. Just a moment. You are muted, Manobi.
yeah,
Yes.
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. So while dealing with both the age groups, high school or senior secondary school and preschool, I chose to work more for early years, because I saw many problems in later years. In like children had adjustment problem, a lot of
Hmm.
other problems at the age at the teenage level,
Hmm.
which had to be corrected in the early years itself, but was not corrected, and it got
Right.
manifested later on. Which
Right.
is why, like I told before, early intervention is very important. Early childhood educators should be very much aware of these problems. I was talking about autism spectrum disorder. I also wanted to tell you about attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which is very
Right.
common amongst children now.
Hmm.
Then there is another problem called learning disability.
Right.
While I was teaching children of like secondary or senior secondary level, I saw that some children find it very difficult to deal with arithmetic. Some have problem with the language. They make a lot of spelling errors and they're unable to read.
Hmm.
So, which is why I thought that we have to bring a lot of changes
Hmm.
from the early year, foundation year itself. And I saw that if we work together
Right.
with all the early childhood educators and make a revolutionary changes in early
Right.
years, I think that will be really, really very, very fruitful. So that is the reason, I had chosen
Hmm.
early childhood education as
Hmm.
my area of work, and
Okay.
I think that is my forte.
Uh, that's really nice. I mean, you have actually, enlightened us with so many informations and why it is important, and it's nice to know actually. Now that you are dealing with early childhood education, I also want to know, sometimes we just become unaware, or maybe it's just an ignorance that we usually have. As a parent also, probably we are not giving too much of importance, or not exactly importance, actually the time constraint is there, and we are not able to handle a child. I mean, if it's ideally said that you are supposed to take care of the child, you need to see whether the child is doing his homework, whether he's able to read, whether he's able to write, whether ABC is important, important hoy. So all those things are there. How what is your opinion? Is it really important to make a routine kind of thing to the child, to say that okay, this needs to be done, you need to learn this is important for you? Is it important? Reading, writing, I understand everything is important, but how important it is? I mean, what should be the cutoff point to say that okay, you sometimes child, they say okay, you don't even allow us to play. I mean, since ours is a day boarding, so when we actually take the child for his lunch or breakfast, and he'll be like just finishing his food, and he just, can I go and play for a minute? And then sometimes because of whatever XYZ reasons, we just stop them. No, you cannot go now, and you should see their face. So how important it is to actually just leave them the way it is? Is it required for us to have a restraint kind of that is follow a restraint kind of system, or say okay, do whatever you like in maths, for example, we follow 2 plus 2 has to be like set rules. 2 plus 2, you have to learn this equal to this. So if a child comes with 1 plus 3 also becomes 4, is it okay? I mean, can we teach, can this be a different kind of learning? Can we teach that ways as well, or follow that kind of pattern, or it has to be a set kind of pattern only?
So, as you have said two different things. One is about the routine. Routine is
Yes.
important, but thinking from a different perspective, it should be allowed to every child. In fact, different perspectives in case of adults also has to be respected. And why not the child? A child's different perspective to a particular thing has to be respected. I will tell you something about the Radio Emilia International Center, wherein every child's perspective is respected. I saw like hall where everything was exhibited. Every child's work was exhibited. A toothbrush and a toothpaste was given to a child, and the child was asked to make something out of it. The child said that these are the two hands of a clock.
Right.
Here, in a traditional system or a conventional school, what would we educators do? What are you doing with the toothbrush and a toothpaste? We wanted to give you an experiential learning in the class. We wanted to teach you how to brush in a correct way, and you have made a clock out of it. What rubbish is it? We would throw the child out of the class or maybe punish him. But in that particular center, I saw that every child's perspective was respected.
Right.
So why should we not respect every child's perspective and give him freedom to think differently? That is the foundation for like discovery or inventions.
Right.
This is how the discovery and inventions takes place. So we can allow the child to do that. But you, like I said, you talked about two different things. Routine is important. We have to imbibe discipline, inculcate discipline in a child. A child has to follow a set routine, and not following a set routine has been very well experienced by parents in 2020. What the children have been doing at home, they aren't getting up early in the morning. They aren't brushing their teeth at the right time. They aren't taking bath at the right time. They aren't going to the school and coming back from the school at the right time. Their whole day at the home, maybe attending 1 hour or 2 hours of online classes in case of secondary or senior secondary. And I also have heard from the teachers, they open the laptop at their, in their bed only. While they're sleeping, they open the laptop and they have, all the hacks. They mute themselves, they switch off the video, and they are sleeping. They have just given the attendance. So this is lack of discipline and routine, which we have very well experienced in 2020. And I think no adult, neither a parent nor a teacher would want it back again. We want routine in our children, and only then learning would facilitate. But different perspective has to be respected. We have to allow the child to think differently.
Yes.
So that is very, very important, I think.
Yes, I also believe on this because like a routine is important, yes, and definitely along with that, we also have to respect their thought process and not always come and say, okay, this is wrong. I mean, you're wrong. Or do you think the child gets demotivated when you use the word like, okay, incorrect or not good? Or, when you say something like, okay, and then you could have, I mean, you just give a cross. So do you think those kind of things demotivate a child?
Of course, we have stopped using, we don't use red pen in the school. Because again, red pen, too many red, it demotivates the child. So we just write it like, you can do better, or please correct it. Always give a positive remark. Even in your case or my case, if we cook something and we say that this was lacking, that was lacking. But if we say that this could have been more, that would be a positive remark, and we would get motivated to do it. Because every child puts in some effort in reading or writing. If we, give a positive remark to the child, definitely the child will get motivated to do better. Giving a cross or wrong, too many red marks in the notebook will definitely demotivate the child, I feel.
Yes, that's so true. I mean, that's why I feel we should be giving more opportunity to a child to grow on their own. And I think that is when they feel that feeling of, ownership. Okay, this is my work. I'm going to do this. This is how I'm going to portray. And if you appreciate and give them a pat on the back, they really feel nice, right? So another question I wanted to ask you is preschool sectors in India, like we know, are quite disorganized, right? And what do you think? Like the government should take steps to actually organize it properly. I mean, there are a lot of things going on which we have seen. There are bifurcations, like we have schools which are running, and public schools, for example, also has different set of education system, or the process that they follow is different from what we see. So what is your opinion about it?
Like government has already put in a little effort now. I mean, which will be, I would call a huge effort if it is implemented, if things happen. And unless and until it happens, we would not say that a great effort has been put. It is just a thought process which has been initiated, and let's see how things take turn. Because like I told you, that I have been a teacher for early years since last 2 decades, and I
Hello. Hello.
Sorry, the connectivity snapped. The connectivity had snapped. Let me come again. Like I told you that I have been working with early years since last 2 decades. I see that preschool sector is really, really unorganized in our country. First of all, for preschool, we don't even, our preschools don't even know where to register themselves. They just take a trade license and open a school. And government has not, taken proper step for private preschools, I guess. And as far as their like ECC program is concerned, it is taken care by the social welfare department, and Anganwadis are being run, wherein we do not have well-equipped teachers. They are not well trained. They need a lot of training, and where only the meal is being served, and a lot of other activities have to be done in those schools. And for that, the baby step has been taken, which is NEP 2020, and everybody will get the framework, which NCERT has already started working on, and then probably it will be a little organized. But in case of private preschools, which have been putting huge efforts since so many years, I think we need a lot of recognition. Because now, it is now that after NEP 2020, early years education or foundation literacy is being given importance, but preschools, private preschools have been putting
Okay, I think we lost
preschools have been putting these efforts since like many decades. So the due recognition has to be given. Government should have some mandate for all the preschools where we are under one umbrella, and we can work, we can join hands and work together for the betterment of every child and the nation at large. And the whole education system at large, I believe.
Yes,
because we, as preschool educators, we shoulder a huge responsibility,
Yes.
And already told before that we lay the foundation, and if we get the due recognition, every private preschool gets the due recognition, and we get a particular framework how to work, and the government gives us certain mandates, then I think we will be organized. All of us will be organized.
Yes, hoping for the best, right? Yes. Okay. I would like, with this, I want, if there is anybody who would like to ask, since we are, just nearing an hour now. So is there anyone who would like to ask or have a question? You can just... Anybody here?
More a question asile. So I want. It's actually from a friend of mine who had asked that apuni government or logot early childhood or kam korise niki, or government or any other agency. Or jodi korise, what is the best outcome of it? Government or lot ki korise? Or do you plan to work with government?
ধৰিব পৰা নাই আপোনাক কথাখিনি ক্লিয়াৰ হোৱা নাই, আকৌ এবাৰ ক'ব নেকি? গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ লগত কি কৰা
আপুনি গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ লগত কাম কৰিছে নেকি আৰ্লি চাইল্ডহুডৰ ওপৰত?
নাই, আমি প্ৰাইভেট স্কুল, স্পাৰ্শ এখন প্ৰাইভেট স্কুল হয়, আমি নিজাববীয়াকে কাম কৰি আছো। চৰকাৰী অনুষ্ঠান দুই এটাৰ লগত, ধৰি লওক নেশ্যনেল ইনষ্টিটিউট অফ পাব্লিক কোঅপাৰেশ্যন এণ্ড চাইল্ড ডেভেলপমেণ্ট আছে, নিপচিট, তেওঁলোকৰ লগত আমি একেলগে জড়িত হৈ বিশেষভাৱে সক্ষম যিখিনি ল'ৰা ছোৱালী বা গিফটেড চিলড্ৰেন বা স্পেচিয়েল চিলড্ৰেন বুলি যাক কয়, তেওঁলোকৰ লগত কাম কৰোতে ধৰি লওক আমি অকমান সহায় সহযোগিতা বিচাৰো। তো এইটো এটা চৰকাৰী অনুষ্ঠান, তেওঁলোকৰ ধৰি লওক এক্সপাৰ্ট, চেক্টৰ এক্সপাৰ্ট আছে, তেওঁলোকৰ লগত আমি কাম কৰো। মোৰ মতে প্ৰত্যেকখন প্ৰিস্কুলে নিপচিডৰ লগত জড়িত হৈ থাকিব লাগে, যাতে ল'ৰা ছোৱালীলৈ যিখিনি অসুবিধা থাকে তেওঁলোকে সেইখিনি মনিটৰ কৰে। As the name itself says, it is National Institute of Public Cooperation and Child Development. ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ লগত জড়িত ডেভেলপমেণ্টেল ইছ্যুজ কিছুমান থাকিলে তেওঁলোকে সহায় সহযোগিতা আগবঢ়ায়, কাৰণ তেওঁলোক ট্ৰেইন প্ৰফেচনেল ৰাখে তাতে। তো ট্ৰেইন প্ৰফেচনেল খিনিয়ে বহুতখিনি সহায় দিব পাৰে আমাক।
Okay. Generally, government approach into early childhood program are they generally based, they're more focused toward the rural, not in the urban setup?
হয় একেবাৰে আপুনি ইয়াতো আছে গুৱাহাটীতো আছে দুই এখন আংগনবাড়ী মই লাইক বহুত কেইখন ভিজিটো কৰিছো আছে ধৰি লওক ৰুৰেল আৰ্বান দুইটা ঠাইতে আছে কিন্তু ধৰি লওক গভৰ্ণমেণ্টৰ যিটো লাইক আৰ্লি ইয়াৰ্ছৰ প্ৰগ্ৰাম সেইটো ছ'চিয়েল ৱেলফেয়াৰ ডিপাৰ্টমেণ্টে ৰান কৰে ICDS প্ৰজেক্ট বুলি কয় এইটো আংগনবাড়ীজবোৰ ৰান কৰে তো আংগনবাড়ীজবোৰত ধৰি লওক আহাৰো যোগান দিয়ে আৰু ধৰি লওক অকল ল'ৰা ছোৱালী বুলি নহয় গৰ্ভৱতী মহিলাৰ ধৰি লওক স্বাস্থ্যৰ বাবেও তেওঁলোকে কাম কৰে কাৰণ এটা বাচ্চা জন্ম পোৱাৰ আগৰ পৰাই যে সুস্থ হ'ব লাগে সেইটো তেওঁলোকে ৰক্ষা কৰে কাৰণ আমাৰ দেশখন ভাৰত এনেকুৱা এখন দেশ য'ত নেকি ধৰি লওক পভাৰ্টি আপুনি জানে কিমান প্ৰেভেলেন্ট যিটো কাৰণে আমি ধৰি লওক ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ স্বাস্থ্যৰ খেয়াল ৰাখিব লাগিব তাৰ পিছত পঢ়াখিনি সমান্তৰালভাৱে হৈ থাকিব পাৰে স্বাস্থ্যটো যদি ভাল নহয় তেতিয়াহ'লে পঢ়াখিনি সমান্তৰালভাৱে আগবঢ়াই নিব নোৱাৰি সেই গতিকে ICDS প্ৰজেক্টে আংগনবাড়ীবোৰ ৰান কৰে আৰু তাতে খাদ্য আহাৰ যোগান দিয়া হয় হেল্থ ইছ্যুজবোৰ তেওঁলোকে খেয়াল ৰাখে আৰু পঢ়ায়
আচ্ছা তো মোৰ আৰু এটা কুৱেশ্যন আছিলে এনে বাহিৰৰ ৰাষ্ট্ৰ যেনেকে ল'ৰা ছোৱালী জন্মৰ আগতে তেওঁলোকে প্ৰিপেয়াৰ হয় সিহঁতৰ লামাজ ক্লাছেছ থাকে বা হোৱাট টু এক্সপেক্ট when you are expecting সেই কিতাপখন বিৰাট ইউজ কৰে মানুহে জানে বহুত কথা জানে before they are ready to have a child basically তো আমাৰ অসমত কিবা আছে নেকি তেনেকুৱা যাতে ইয়াং যোনটো ল'ৰা ছোৱালী or couples কি জন্মৰ আগতে তেওঁলোকে প্ৰিপেয়াৰ্ড how to deal with a child
সেইটোৰ বিষয়ে মোৰ কিমান মই অৱগত নহয় কিন্তু প্ৰত্যেকগৰাকী মহিলাই ধৰি লওক যেতিয়া গৰ্ভৱতী হয় কেনেকে নিজৰ খেয়াল ৰাখিব পাৰি সেইটো ধৰি লওক আমি মেডিকেল প্ৰফেচনেলছ যিবোৰ আছে মেডিকেল প্ৰফেচনেল লগত ধৰি লওক জড়িত হৈ থাকিলে আমি জানোৱেই ধৰি লওক মানসিকভাৱে ধৰি লওক খুব কাম হৈ থাকিব লাগে তেতিয়াহে ল'ৰা ছোৱালীৰ স্বাস্থ্য ভাল হ'ব ভৱিষ্যতে সেই তেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ গাইডেন্সবোৰ অলৰেডি মেডিকেল প্ৰফেচনেলছবোৰে দিয়ে মানে শিশুটি সুস্থ সবল হ'বৰ কাৰণে বা ভাল হ'বৰ কাৰণে কেনেধৰণে নিজৰ খেয়াল ৰাখিব পাৰি সেইটো মেডিকেল প্ৰফেচনেলছে দিয়ে আমাক সেইমতে ধৰি লওক আমি চলো প্ৰত্যেকগৰাকী মহিলা বা কাপলছে আগবাঢ়ি যাব পাৰোঁ
আপোনালোকৰ তাত ক্লাছ হয় নেকি লাইক কাপলছৰ কাৰণে
নাই তেনেকুৱা একো নাই আমি খালি ECC প্ৰগ্ৰাম এটা ৰান কৰো চাৰ্টিফিকেট কোৰ্স হয় 6 মহীয়া ECC প্ৰগ্ৰাম য'ত নেকি প্ৰত্যেকজন আৰ্লি চাইল্ডহুড এডুকেটৰক আমি ধৰি লওক ট্ৰেইনিং দিও এটা চাৰ্টিফিকেট কোৰ্স হয় কোনো ধৰণৰ ডিপ্লোমা বা ডিগ্ৰী নহয় য'ত ধৰি লওক শিশুৰ লগত জড়িত বহুত ধৰণৰ সাইকোলজিকেল প্ৰব্লেম হওক বা শিশুৰ লগত জড়িত ভেৰিয়াছ পেডাগজিজ যিবোৰ তেওঁলোকে স্কুলত চলাই নিব পাৰে পদ্ধতিবোৰ শিক্ষাদানৰ পদ্ধতিবোৰ সেইবোৰৰ বিষয়ে অৱগত কৰোঁ
শুনি ভাল লাগিলে কেতিয়াবা আহিম আপোনাৰ অনুষ্ঠানলৈ
ধন্যবাদ মিলিন
Thank you. Back to you, Rashmi.
Okay. Anyone else wants to put up a question? Okay. I guess there's nobody. So, Manobi, we're coming to the end of our session today. I have learned a lot from you, and there were so many things that I have actually. I mean, as an educator, it felt really nice to have interacted and shared our views. And thank you. I want to say that thank you for giving your valuable time to us. And I wish you all the very best in your near future.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Roshmi, and thank you, Anajari, for the wonderful opportunity. I feel privileged. Thank you very much. Hope to connect with you sometime in future again.
Yes, definitely. And on behalf of Anajari, like we are dealing with a lot of, we have, like I said, we have different verticals. We deal with art and craft, we have education, we are dealing with animal welfare, and we also take up webinars for gender and inequality. So you can just speak up and talk to people who would be
Definitely
more enlightened to know what we do, right? And thank you once again, and have a great evening.
Thank you, Manobi. Thank you, Roshmi Ba, for this
Thank
wonderful
you,
session.
Diti.
Yeah.
thank you,
Okay.
Diti.
Yeah. Welcome. So we can leave now.
We can leave.